The New England Patriots are legit, especially with the new additions for Romeo Doubs and, some key factors on defense and so on and so forth. And, of course, we have to talk about A.J. Brown. But if you're waiting on Drake May to decline, baby, let me tell you, keep waiting, man. He's only going to get better and better and better. He has one of the great masterminds as an offensive coordinator, if you didn't know, that's been around. That is responsible for Tom Brady. If you didn't know, you know what I mean? And another year with the players, the coaches understands their players a little bit better and what they can expect from each and every individual player when certain situations come up in certain games. So things like that is only going to get better. And the Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl this year. That is my prediction. I said it in the middle of the offseason. I'm very confident in the Patriots heading back to the Super Bowl because of the things that I just spoke about. This coaching staff was a new coaching staff, brought in some new players. Some players was there when they got there, but they was able to build this team. And now, man, listen, they are going to be hard to deal with. Listen, my only concern, y'all know what my concern is. My only concern is A.J. Brown. What does A.J. Brown, how does he factor into this equation? Because they made it to the Super Bowl without A.J. Brown. Is he going to make football about him? Or he's going to be a team player, the player that Mike Vrabel expects him to be, the head coach? That is my concern for the team. Because you could have easily kept Stephon Diggs around and not have to waste a draft pick and some other things. Stephon Diggs could have maintained his spot with the team, got through his legal issues like he's doing, and still been with the team and had time to grow with Drake May. So AJ, it's a lot on the line with AJ Brown because the head coach Mike Vrabel stuck his neck out there for whatever reason. He decided to do it, and he wanted to bring AJ Brown to this team. But if the team has to move on without AJ Brown, they will be prepared to do so, regardless, with the addition of Romeo Doubs. Now, he is the sleeping. He's the X factor. No one talks about Romeo Doubs that much coming from from Green Bay. Yes. Watch out for Romeo Doubs this season. Honestly, I see Drake May working harder to complete passes to A.J. Brown because of the lack of separation with his route running. I exposed this last season. Before, when the whole trade talks began, I exposed that I don't see A.J. Brown worth the first-round pick because of his decline in his physical capabilities, I saw a route ran with A.J. Brown during training camp, right? I saw a route ran with him and Christian Gonzalez going at it. They've been one-on-one practicing, good on good in practice. That's how it goes in training camp, right? And Drake May barely had anywhere to put the football, but the perfect spot to complete the pass. And that is what we have to expect from Drake May when he's looking for A.J. Brown. Because it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Unless they use A.J. Brown more in the slots, more in the inside, But A.J. Brown isn't creating the separation and running past wide receivers or running past cornerbacks like he once was or like he once did. The speed, the agility, the flexibility isn't there anymore. And that's how you take care of your body on the offseason, during the season, stretching, keeping your flexibility, you can't be so caught up in the weight room when you play an athletic position, one of the premier positions, receiver, cornerback, and things like that. You got to keep your speed and your flexibility along with your weight and things like that intact, right? But for A.J. Brown, Drake May and A.J. Brown will develop a certain relationship, right? I expect to see a lot of back shoulder fades and press coverage when Drake May is looking for A.J. Brown and man-to-man. So you're going to see a lot of, out routes and a lot of back shoulder fades because A.J. Brown isn't blowing the top off any coverages anymore. He doesn't have that speed to get past cornerbacks like he once did. So to adjust, use his big body. The back shoulder fade is the hardest route for us cornerbacks to defend. Once Drake May and A.J. Brown develop that chemistry right there, Josh McDaniels will definitely make sure they developed that chemistry, and Drake May understands where to put the ball and when to put the ball on to AJ Brown on back shoulder phase, man, it's going to be like clockwork. That is one of the hardest things to stop, to be like clockwork. But as we know, Christian Gonzalez and AJ Brown have been going at it all training camp. We haven't heard much from Christian Gonzalez. He responded when it was time to respond because AJ Brown, he can't hold his feelings back. His ego bothering him. You know, wide receivers are the divas of the NFL. They can't handle accountability like the rest of the NFL players. That's just the way it is. But this is what it sounds like when a wide receiver can't get open and the cornerback is getting the best of him.
Yeah, I'm not really sitting here trying to talk. You know, I want my play to speak for me. I actually talk to myself, so he may hear me talking to myself, and he may take it like I'm talking to him. But you know, like I said, we're teammates at the end of the day, and we're just competing. So
one more time.
Yeah, I'm not really sitting here trying to talk. You know, I want my play to speak for me. I actually talk to myself, so he may hear me talking to myself, and he may take it like I'm talking to him. But you know, like I said, we're teammates at the end of the day, and we're just competing. So,
hey, babe, we're teammates at the end of the day. You know, we're just out here competing. You know, I'm out here talking to myself when I'm getting D'd up. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm out here talking to myself. I'm really talking crap, but I don't want you to think I'm out here starting anything. So anything I say, I don't want to be held accountable, baby. This is how I do. I talk to myself. When I was out there in Philly, and me and Jalen Hurts, he understood that I kept to myself, and I say a lot of things to myself. Don't mean no harm to anyone. That's what AJ Brown is. See, that's what he's lining up. He wants us to believe that. But this is the beginning of a lot more to come. If you don't realize and see the character of AJ Brown, this is the beginning of a lot more to come. Because these receivers, man, I can't just say it's AJ Brown. AJ Brown may be the epitome of how you act at wide receiver. But hey, man, Christian Gonzalez, man, he don't want to hear all this mess. He just want to go to work. He want to put his hat on, his boots, and get to work. And best on best, let's see what it do. You know, when a receiver gets D'd up, it's like admitting defeat. That's a hard pill to swallow for most receivers. Receivers can't handle defeat. You want me to go out there and say, yeah, he won. He keeps winning over and over and over. No, receivers have problem with that. They have a big problem with that. They like to scream to the referee, say it's pass interference. They like to act like it's holding and so on and so forth. And like I say, you can tell Christian Gonzalez was kicking AJ Brown's butt, boy. You can tell. Now, on the other hand, the way they're treating AJ Brown, when you're a top pick or when a team, how you put it, when a team values a certain player, right? Like an AJ Brown, and you make a trade for him, you give him a contract, you give up a first-round draft pick. It's a certain way coaches in the organization treat that player. It's kind of like that player is being babysitted for a certain period or a certain time because they want this to work out. They need this to work out. Right? Now, I want you to peep the babysitting Josh McDaniels has to do for AJ Brown. Because AJ Brown has lost a step or two, Josh McDaniels has to make it seem like Christian Gonzalez isn't letting any receivers, anybody get behind him because AJ Brown lost the ability to run past cornerbacks. This is what they said in training camp. AJ Brown, I'm sorry, brother. Christian Gonzalez is one of one. He isn't letting anyone past him. And that's the excuses you got to make for AJ Brown these days. Yeah. AJ Brown isn't running past too many people anymore. Unless it's busted coverage. That's just the truth, man. That's just the truth. But I'm not worried about Drake May, man, because he is in good hands with offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. That offensive coordinator makes a huge difference in the development of a quarterback. How successful that quarterback can be depends on the offense of coordinator, the offensive scheme. That is most important first and foremost. Then the players, the protection and so on, comes into play. But if you don't have an offensive coordinator that understands what needs to be done and how to use and develop a quarterback, oh man, it's like we've been seeing in the NFL. Don't be shocked though. I'm telling y'all, I'm really good with my eyes and what I see out there. I don't want y'all to be shocked. This is another prediction. I don't want y'all to be shocked if Drake May is the MVP of the NFL this season. It's a strong possibility. Drake May threw for over 4,300 yards last season. It's a strong possibility. He may throw for over 5,000 yards this season with 40 touchdowns, 40 plus touchdowns. That's not far-fetched. That's not far-fetched for Drake May and Josh McDaniels. Understand what I'm saying? Josh McDaniels is the X factor as well. They only spent one season together, man. Drake May only got one season to experience what Tom Brady got to experience for years and upon years. The person who helped make Tom Brady great. Drake May only had one season with this man and took this team to the Super Bowl. Don't look at that's just some coincidence. I'm letting y'all recognize, I'm letting y'all see and understand what greatness really is. Yeah. Josh McDaniels is like that, man. If you know, you know. If you know who Josh McDaniels is, if you've been following the Patriots and Josh McDaniels, man, you understand. I just hope this A.J. Brown trade doesn't backfire in Mike Vrabel's face, and he totally regrets this decision to bring A.J. Brown in and let Stephon Diggs go. I just hope this doesn't backfire. I hope A.J. Brown sucks up his pride and just put his head down and go to work, because you could just easily kept Stephon Diggs around, know what you expect, understand what you're getting, and Stephon Diggs is ready to continue. He was ready to continue to build and grow and just mature as an individual, as you can see, man. We all go through immature stages of our life and things that we have to fix in our life. You understand? So, yeah, man, we're going to see, man. A.J. Brown, don't let us down in New England. A.J. Brown, you better not let us down, brother. It doesn't take much to keep your mouth quiet, go to work, man, and get out your feelings. That's all. Keep your mouth quiet, go to work, and get out your feelings. That's all it takes for a little success. You understand? How we doing out there, chat? What do you think about A.J. Brown? What are we talking about in the chat? A.J. Brown, Drake May MVP. Stop the cap, bro. That's Pat's favoritism. Man, I don't understand. What don't we see in Drake May? And what don't you understand? You feel like last season was a one-hit wonder. I know you do, man. Who we got here? I'm just going to call you 2212. You feel like last season was a one-hit wonder. That's not cap, bro. That's not cap. Yeah, you got Patrick Mahomes out there. He's coming off an injury. I don't know if it was ACL, Achilles, or whatever it was. You got the reigning MVP, Josh Allen. Right? Didn't Josh Allen win it? Josh Allen is a strong possibility. Got Lamar Jackson as well then you got receivers. You got receivers. You got the receiver out of Seattle, JSN. I think this is his name. I get all confused and stuff like that. But yeah, don't think Drake May is not right up there with everyone else. Man, he has to be the leading candidate in my eyes. I don't know. I don't see who is going to get better or who has the upside that Drake May has at this point in their career. We know what we're going to get from Josh Allen. We know what we're going to get from Dak Prescott. Yeah, Dak Prescott is Dak Prescott. He has a bunch of stats that are meaningless. Those stats that are meaningless, those are stats that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, that's basically how those stats go over there. They can have all the numbers they want, but they're not winning anything. They're barely making it to the playoffs. So those stats are meaningless. Drake May throws for over 4,000 yards, leads his team to the Super Bowl with over 30 touchdowns. You understand? 72% completion percentage. That is just outstanding with a limited amount of weapons. Stephon Diggs was his best receiver last season. Come on. 10th, 11 years wide receiver coming off an ACL injury. That was his best wide receiver, best weapon last season. And y'all mean to tell me y'all don't think you're going to see progress from Drake May? Man, get the crap out of here. Get the crap out of here. Let's go, New England, baby. New England to the Super Bowl. My predictions, New England versus Seattle Seahawks. All over again. It's a repeat. This time, baby, New England steps up and they deliver, man, and they get this victory. But, hey, we're going to take it one step at a time, one game at a time, and that's how we're going to roll, man. I can't wait, man. Football week. I thought football games was coming on this weekend, man. We got to wait another week. You're going to make me run through the camera. Huh.